We're back for MLB Best Bets here on June 9th. We've got an assortment of games today here on this MLB Monday, obviously with it being a travel day for some teams, and we still got a good selection of games we're going to go over today and give you our 5 best bets for, obviously, again, for Major League Baseball. Now, before we get into the video, folks, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily MLB Best Bets here on the channel. Later today, we're going to have our game number 3 predictions between the Indiana Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder in the NBA Finals. The Pacers are okay, all right? We split in OKC. Everything's all right. We'll have our game 3 predictions for the NBA Finals out later today, likely 5 p.m. Pacific and 8 p.m. Eastern. Also this week on Greedo Plays MMA, 2 videos, the first of which are UFC Atlanta full card predictions, Kamaru Usman and Joaquin Buckley in the main event from Atlanta, Georgia. And also this week in the PFL, it is the Clash of the Caribbean. Jason Jackson takes on Thad Gene in the main event. Go check out Greedo Plays MMA. Videos linked in the description down below, and go subscribe to Greedo Plays MMA if you have not yet. We are getting closer and closer to 1,000 subscribers, so let's go make that happen over there. Okay, on to the first of our 5 best bets today in the MLB. We're going to kick things off with our first money line of the day, and I know what you're thinking. We're taking the Marlins? Yeah, we are, okay? So the Marlins ruined the Nerfi yesterday. Of course they did. And we're going to take them here, okay? This team's been playing competitive ball, all right? They've been playing competitive baseball. Even though they lost the series in Tampa, hear me out, guys. I kind of liked what I saw there, right? The 11-run outing in the second game of that series in Tampa, winning it 11-10 in extra innings. The 2 close games they play in Tampa on both Friday and Sunday, a loss 4-3 on Friday, a loss on Sunday 3-2. And I get it. This team's been on the road for a while now, back-to-back. Oh, actually, no, they played... I forgot. This team got swept at their home ballpark against the Rockies. That's bad, but it's fine. The reason we're going Miami today is a couple of reasons. Yuri Perez is pitching for the Marlins. Mike Burrows is pitching for Pittsburgh. And my goodness, the Pirates are due for some regression. We took Pittsburgh yesterday. We took them to sweep the Philadelphia Phillies, and indeed, that did happen. And again, we're going to be playing some trends today. You'll see that in just a few moments here. But right, Pittsburgh sweeps their in-state rivals, winning 5-4 on Friday, 2-1 on both Saturday and Sunday. And obviously, they got a great game out of Paul Skeens. He had the no decision, but obviously his ERA is down to 1.6 now or something crazy. And the guy's record's like 3-5 this year. Get that man the Cy Young and get him up on out of Pittsburgh. Anyways, actually, no, keep him in Pittsburgh. Don't want to see him as a Dodger. Don't want to see that. Anyways, the Pirates, it's not like they've been hitting well, though, right? Their pitching carries them through games. And I'm not going to sell you on the fact that, oh, the Marlins are some, offensive juggernaut. They're not. But Mike Burrows is pitching today for the Pirates. The righty out of Waterford, Connecticut, has a 5.27 ERA on the season. His last start, his best start of the year, he's only made 3. But his last one against the Houston Astros, he goes 5 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 0 runs. In his 2 previous starts against the Brewers and the D-backs, he goes 5 innings and 3 1/3 innings, respectively. 4 runs given up in the Brewers game, 5 runs and 3 1/3 against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Again, I know what the Snakes bring. They are a great hitting squad, but I just feel like Miami should be able to get it going here against Burrows, a guy who doesn't have particularly great stuff. And honestly, I mean, like we saw on Saturday, this Miami team, if they can get going, they have some decent bats here. Xavier Edwards, Agustin Ramirez, Jesus Sanchez. I always talk about good Sanoja is deep in the lineup. Again, that's a speed guy batting in the 9 who can give you trouble. Dane Myers has been hitting the ball pretty well this year as well. They've got guys. They do. Again, their pitching is iffy, and today Yuri Perez is pitching. Okay. Yuri Perez has not started in a very long time. He's coming off of Tommy John. He did not pitch in 2024, so this is a long-awaited return for Perez. His last start came back in 2023 against the New York Mets. He only goes 3 innings in that game on September 20th, 2023. Again, Yuri Perez that season, though, was phenomenal for the Marlins. 3.15 ERA. I remember him shutting down the Nationals in Miami, and I think it was late August of that year. Perez was really good. He struggled a little bit in his last month pitching in September, but obviously that ended up resulting in the Tommy John surgery. Perez doesn't pitch in 2024, and now here he is. He's back. I don't know what to expect out of Perez. He's only 22 years of age. Again, this guy was dominating at 20 when he first came into the bigs. It's crazy. Don't expect him to go that deep into this game, but I think he's going to set the tone for Miami in the start. Especially, again, there aren't many teams you rather have your guy come back and face than Pittsburgh, okay? I understand, right? The Pirates, They've won 3 in a row. Let's not forget, though, first series of the year, Miami versus Pittsburgh. The Marlins won 3 of 4 in Miami, Florida over the Pirates. But again, Pittsburgh has won 3 in a row. That has not been because of their bats, right? Their bats are still really bad. Andrew McCutchen's doing his thing. Unk's been balling for them. Brian Reynolds will contribute. But yesterday, right, 2 runs. They had the same amount of runs scored the day before on Saturday. And if the Marlins are just able to get anything off of Mike Burrows, who I don't think is particularly good, we are going to be fine. I'm taking the Miami Marlins here to go on the road to Pittsburgh and beat the Pirates. Again, Pittsburgh is due for some damn regression. They've won 4 out of their last 5 games. They've won 3 in a row. I fully expect the Miami Marlins here to go on the road and win. They are underdogs in this spot at plus 100. Really like the spot here. Somehow this is a nationally televised game on Fox Sports 1. Why? I don't get that. But regardless, who's tuning in for that, except for us? We're taking the Miami Marlins to win the baseball game in Pittsburgh over the Pirates. We get them as dogs. Sign me up here for the fish. Let's move on to our second best bet of the video. It is our second money line of the day, Philadelphia Phillies, Chicago Cubs. I fully expect this line to drop, okay? So again, I'm recording this video at 1:30 in the morning. I don't know where this line is going to end up. I've seen it anywhere from minus 150 to, the best I've seen it's at minus 125. ESPN's listing it as minus 150. I believe FanDuel had it at plus 145. ProfitX has at minus 125. I know ProfitX is a little bit different than the other books, obviously, because it's not technically a sports book. Anyways, though, get the best line you can get on the Phillies. Again, we are playing the trends today. Phillies due for some wins. Pittsburgh's due for some losses. Obviously, we picked Pittsburgh over Philadelphia yesterday. But for the Phils, they've now lost 5 consecutive games. This team has lost 9 out their last 10. They have fallen out to 37 wins and 28 losses. Damn, I wish my team could lose 9 of 10 and still be 9 games over. I'll get to the Nationals at the very end of the video if you were interested. Anyways, the Phillies are so due. They're so due, and if there was ever a pitcher that could get them right back on track, yeah, Zach Wheeler. One of the best pitchers in all of Major League Baseball. Now, his last start wasn't good, and that's why I had my take the other day about how Mackenzie Gore, I think, is the second best pitcher in the National League, or at least he's top 3, and yes, I ranked him above Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler's ERA has now ballooned up to 2.96. Anyways, I know Wheeler's still very good. They had to skip his last start because he was on paternity leave. Anyways, Wheeler is back. Yes, his last start against the Braves wasn't very good. At home at the bank, 5 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 6 runs. Again, like the trends, expect Wheeler to be back. Prior to that Braves start, he had gone 20 consecutive innings without giving up a single run. I am going to mark that game as an outlier, and I think he's going to be all right. But my goodness, is there ever a game you just put him right back into? Oh, it's the Cubs. One of, if not the best hitting lineup or best lineup in all baseball. Chicago's great right now, obviously, right? They lost 2 out of their last 3 in Detroit. Of course, the one game we had Detroit, Chicago win 6-1. The other game's a 3-1 loss in Detroit, a 4-0 loss, of course, the Tigers as well. And what happened in those 2 games, right? I mean, the game that we had Detroit in, it was a bullpen game. We took a little bit of a risk, obviously, because we knew the circumstances of not getting a premier pitcher like Tarek Skubal on Friday, or on Sunday, obviously, Jack Flaherty. But again, I'm going to direct you towards, Flaherty pitched Sunday and Skubal pitched Friday, and the Tigers shut down Chicago in both of those games. They scored 1 run off of Skubal. They scored 0 runs off of Jack Flaherty. Again, the final scores were 3-1 and 4-0. So when Chicago faces a really good pitcher, and we can even look at the week prior or earlier in the week when they faced off against Mackenzie Gore, they couldn't score a damn run off of Gore. I understand how great of a hitting team this Cubs squad is, but when you face them against really good pitchers, and sure, again, Jack Flaherty, by the way, is not on the level of a Mackenzie Gore, Tarek Skubal, or Zach Wheeler, but anyways, if you really match them up against a really good pitcher, you're going to see success for their opponents. And that's what we're just hoping out of Zach Wheeler here. We just need Wheeler to be really effective tonight. Pitching for Chicago is going to be Matthew Boyd. His last start was phenomenal. He took a perfect game into the 5th or 6th inning. Anyways, his shutout gets ended by Ahmed Rosario, who hit a solo home run into the right field bullpen at Nats Park, ultimately propelling the Nationals to win that game 2-0. But Boyd was great. It was his best start of the season until, again, Rosario hit that home run. Still, though, great start for Matthew Boyd. Philadelphia's got to figure it out offensively eventually, right? I mean, they were just tasked with some really good pitchers in Pittsburgh, dealing with Andrew Heaney and dealing with, obviously, Paul Skeens yesterday. Not to say, again, Matthew Boyd's going to be a test as well, because, my goodness, yes, this is going to be difficult for Philadelphia today. But at the same time, I know Zach Wheeler is going to be shut down. So I just need Philadelphia to get something going offensively today, okay? We just need a little bit of production somewhere, okay? We're going to get lefty-lefty matchups, obviously, with Schwarber, with Bryson Stott, but it allows, again, for better matchups for Trey Turner, for Alec Boehm, who has always seen left-handed pitching better. Same with Nick Castellanos. I know, again, Bryce Harper is still out. He is on the 15 or 10-day injured list. Again, the Phils just need to find ways to win games right now. 6 consecutive losses or 5 consecutive losses in 9 out their last 10 games. They just gotta get one. And I think, again, if there was ever a guy that could get them right back on track, it is Zach Wheeler. I understand how good Boyd is. But again, my comparison I'm going to make is look how Chicago dealt with those really good pitchers in Detroit and Scooball and Flaherty. Look how they dealt with Mackenzie Gore over in D.C. They have trouble against really good pitchers. And Zach Wheeler is a really good pitcher. We just need him to be much better than he was against Atlanta in his last start. He's had, they skipped his last start, so he's had some time since that Brave start. And I think Zach Wheeler is going to be fine here at home in Philadelphia. Again, I expect this line to drop further than minus 140. I think, again, you can probably get this easily at about minus 130. I'm just imagining how that line's going to move. Give me Philadelphia money line at home against the Chicago Cubs and Wheeler's return. Let's move on now to our third best bet of the video. It is our best player prop of the day. The graphic screwed up. Okay, it's under 4.5 strikeouts. It's 4.5. I didn't change it from the Garrett Crochet one. Yeah. Obviously, Brayan Bello's line is not going to be 7.5 strikeouts. It is 4.5 strikeouts today. We are going with the under for this line. Just clarifying. That is my fault. It is minus 120 for the under 4.5 strikeouts for Brayan Bello, the righty out of the Dominican Republic. I don't think Bello's bad. I don't think he's going to be able to hit this line. I look at his last 5 starts, and he's only gone over 4.5 once. And that's against the Baltimore Orioles in a game that he goes 4 innings, gives up 6 hits and 2 runs, but ultimately finds ways to get 7 strikeouts. The thing with Bello is, and this is why I feel fine about this, well, he's only hit this twice all season long. The other one was against the Twins on May 2nd, where he had 5 strikeouts. But the thing about Bellows and how he pitches, this guy puts everyone on base. He's going to walk a million guys, and even when he gives up hits, or he forces ground outs, or just gets outs in general, they're all deep counts, and they're all long counts, right? That's why he got pulled after the 4th inning against Baltimore, again, the last time he hit this line. The difference in that game was that he just didn't really walk anybody. But still, after 4 innings, Bello had 87 pitches. So that's why I just don't expect him to reach this line, because ultimately his pitch count is not going to allow him to reach this line. Bello's a good arm. It's just, again, he doesn't really limit anyone, He's going to let hitters work big counts against him. He's going to walk guys, and sure, there will be some spots in certain counts where he is going to find the strikeout. They're just too far in between for him to reach over 4.5 Ks. He's going to be facing a Tampa Bay Rays lineup tonight who, we'll see, they don't strike out that much. I mean, they struck out, I guess, 7 times all game yesterday. I'm trying to compare this to other really good starters they have seen. I think on Friday they saw... it was Edward Cabrera. They did strike out 5 times in 4 innings against Edward Cabrera. I'll be honest, a little bit of a different matchup, though. Cabrera, again, I always say it, when Cabrera's on, he's going to blow it right by you, and he's going to get you with that nasty slider as well. So I'm not too concerned about that. Again, maybe not the best example I could have used, but I think the better thing to look off this, to base this player prop around, is just the past results we've gotten out of Bello. Even in games where he's gone deep, and by the way, Brayan Bello has only reached the 5th inning once in his last 7 starts, okay? And that was in his last start on June the 3rd at home against the Los Angeles Angels. He went 6 innings, gave up 6 hits, 3 runs, and only had 4 strikeouts. Again, that's not going to hit the 4.5 line that we have here. Bello walked 2 guys in that game. Of course, this is a ground ball pitcher for the most part. I mean, that's when he's most effective. He's getting contact on the ground. But it's just always been a thing with Brayan Bello, right? His control isn't the best. He's a little all over the place, and hitters are going to work counts against the guy, right? Again, 3 runs in 6 innings against the Angels, 103 total pitches. But look at all of his starts prior to that. Brewers start 4 2/3 innings, 2 strikeouts. Again, we went over that Orioles game against the Braves, 4 1/3, 10 hits, 7 runs, 5 walks, 3 strikeouts. He's just, I don't know, he's too hit and miss to rely on this prop, and that's why, again, I think it's an easy under for us. He can even be, Brandon Bell can have really good games, and he's still not finding the strikeouts. I mean, this guy's walked 5 batters twice so far this season. In a start against the Rangers, he went 4 2/3, gave up 4 hits, 0 runs, but, walked 5 guys and ultimately got pulled before the end of the 5th inning. He's just, again, good pitcher, struggles with control, struggles with limiting his pitch count. And I think the Rays, who, again, I've said it before, I'm not sold on what Tampa Bay has. They're not a team that really catches my eye at all. I understand right now, technically, they're in 2nd place in the American League East, and I know that's just how Tampa's always been, hell, even dating, prior to their World Series run or appearance in 2020. They're just not a team that we expect to be there at the end of the season. But regardless, though, right, I feel like they're going to be able to battle in counts, right? This is a guy that they have not seen so far this season, but obviously a divisional opponent here on the road at Fenway Park. I just don't think Bell is going to be able to get 5 strikeouts. He's done it once in his last 7 or 6. Give me the Tampa Bay Rays to just battle today, and I'm going Brayan Bello on the under total strikeouts for him. Again, not 7.5 like it's presented on the screen. 4.5 strikeouts in the under here for Brayan Bello at home at Fenway Park against the Tampa Bay Rays. Let's go on to our 4th best bet of the video. It is our daily Nerfi, and because we don't have a Washington Nationals best bet today, I'm just going to go to a 3rd money line next. But anyways, let's go on to our daily no runs in the 1st inning. Let's go to American Family Field in Milwaukee, Wisconsin for a matchup between the Milwaukee Brewers and the Atlanta Braves. And here, again, we are taking the Nerfi. Pitching matchup today, Aaron Civale versus Chris Sale. Okay, there is one definite scary spot, and you and I both know what it is. It's Aaron Civale versus the Atlanta Braves in the top half of the inning, okay? We've been great on Nerfies all season long until the last week, okay? Full transparency. It has not been our week for Nerfies. So we're turning the page, obviously, because today's Monday, new week. And, I think the Atlanta Braves as a whole just need to turn the page. We had Giants money line yesterday. We finally went with the voodoo magic that the Giants are doing, and they won another 1-run ball game, and the Braves just keep on finding new ways to lose. Yesterday, there was nothing crazy. It was just, the Giants, what was the 4th inning? They took the lead and never gave it back up. Anyways, I assume the Braves to not do anything in the 1st. They did score in the 1st inning yesterday. And yes, this is going to be a little tricky. Again, though, I always say this with Nerfies. If I can get a spot, I know Chris Sale is going to get 3 outs. Okay, Chris Sale has been so good recently. He started off the season a little shaky. We're like, oh, Sale's 36 now. What is he going to be? No, Sale has been completely fine. I'll talk about his last couple starts in a second. The tough part in this one is going to be the Brewers starter today in Civale versus Atlanta. Obviously, you know what the Braves bring at the top of their lineup. They have got some juggernauts, right? Ronald Acuna, Austin Riley, Marcell Ozuna from the Braves, Matt Olson, right? Those are some tough guys. I don't care, again, what Matt Olson's average is. I mean, that's a tough guy in the lineup. He had 3 RBI yesterday. Hell, all the RBI yesterday for Atlanta were Matt Olson. There's tough guys in the lineup. And it really all starts with Ronald Acuna. Right, Acuna's still been hitting the ball really well since his return this season. Acuna's batting .304, OBP of 391. It's a tough guy. It's a really tough guy to deal with. Civale has not been great this season, 5.19 ERA. In limited spots, though, and I really think, again, this is an inflated line because he made his first start back on, March 30th in the Bronx against the Yankees. That was at the peak of the Yankees torpedo bat thing that started at the beginning of the year, right? I remember when the Yankees had the torpedo bats and everyone was like, oh, Judge is going to hit 100 home runs this season because they had that crazy first series against the Brewers, and Civale was the starter in the 3rd game of that series. He went 3 innings against the Yankees, 4 hits, 5 runs. It wasn't good. But that's really still what's killing his ERA. Civale comes back in May to pitch against the Pittsburgh Pirates. He goes 4 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. Again, not great, but serviceable. Against the Red Sox, he goes 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. And then against the Reds in his last start on June 2nd, 5 1/3, 7 hits, 2 runs. Again, not crazy stuff, but much more serviceable. And I think that Yankees game, is it a crazy outlier? No, but it's an outlier. So I'm okay with this, right? It all starts and ends for me with the Atlanta Braves, Ronald Acuna. That's the guy I'm scared of. After him, I know Riley's great. He had 2 hits yesterday. Matt Olson can still swing it really well, and Marcell Ozuna from the Braves is good too. But again, it all starts with Acuna. If we're able to get Acuna, I think we're going to be all right. And then on the flip side of things, Chris Sale, man, this guy's been so good. And this is a Brewers team, by the way, that the Braves are facing today that are really struggling at the plate, right? They win the middle game of their 3-game set against the Padres in extra innings, or no, the bottom of the 9th. Luis Arraez with the big hit, and the Padres obviously choked it right after. But anyways, Milwaukee just got shut out yesterday. They lost 1-0 to the San Diego Padres. It was a Manny Machado home run in the 7th inning. How good has that guy been this season? But it was a Machado home run in the 7th, which was the only run yesterday in Milwaukee. The Brewers coming off that game where they were ice cold at the plate, only 4 hits the entire game. They saw Burgett to start, and really the bullpen came in and really shut them down. Jason Adam finally had a good outing for the Padres after his last 2 have been very shaky. Regardless, Chris Sale is going to come in here and absolutely dominate this lineup. I mean, again, the Brewers are just another one of these teams. It's like Tampa. It's just like, look at them. Like, they're kind of just hanging around. They're 4 games over. They have a much better record than my team. And you look at the top of their lineup, Churang, Churio, Yelich, Contreras, and none of them are really playing all that well. Churang's been good, but it's like, damn. Sal Frelick's been good, but like, I don't know. Churang batting 266, Churio batting 254, Yelich 233, Contreras 244. Chris Sale, man. I mean, excellence. Look at his last 4 starts. Diamondbacks, great team. 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 10 strikeouts. Phillies, 6 innings, 2 hits, 0 runs, 8 strikeouts. Padres, 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 6 strikeouts. Red Sox, 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, 8 strikeouts. Yeah, Chris Sale's back. He's been back, you know? I mean, just a tough start to the season, but Chris Sale's been really good. He will dominate this Brewers lineup today. I think he'll get us 3 outs. Again, the much tougher part, Savali, but I'm going to just trust. And again, we just need Savali to cash for us, and that's minus 130 if you really just take away Sale, because we know that's going to happen for us. So give me the Nerfi here today in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Braves, Brewers, Savali, and Sale. Let's go into our final best bet of the video. It is our 3rd money line of the day, obviously with no Nationals baseball today. They'll be back tomorrow in Citi Field against the Mets. Oh, I'm so excited. Actually, no, I am, because Gore's pitching. But other than that, you'll hear my Nats thoughts in a second. Dodgers, Padres. I'm taking the Padres. I know San Diego has been kind of rough recently. I mean, they finished that 4-game set in San Francisco. They won the first 2, lost the second 2. They win 2 of 3 in Milwaukee. So I'm not going to say they've been rough. They're just playing the Dodgers, who are great, but San Diego can tie the Dodgers for first place in the National League West today with a victory. And the Dodgers lost 2 of 3 in St. Louis. They split the 4-game set in at home against New York against the Mets. They're a good team, but the Padres here, I think, are going to get them. The game's in San Diego, okay? It's tough to go to San Diego and win, especially that crowd against that team. You know it's going to be everyone's going to be fired up. You know there's going to be probably a full capacity crowd in San Diego. This game means something. Padres fans hate Dodgers fans. The Dodgers eliminated the Padres last year in the NLDS. Again, this is a game that kind of means something. It just does. It's a rivalry, obviously. Second off, the pitching matchup. I'm not going to hate on Dustin May. I'm not going to say Dustin May's bad. He's just not on the level of Nick Pivetta, who had a bad start in his last outing against the Giants. It was all going well. I was at the game. It was all going well until it didn't, until the 6th inning, where he kind of just got blown up a little bit. He gave up 1 run prior to the 6th, he gave up 1 in the 5th, and then 3 in the 6th. Ended up giving up 5 runs in the game, and ultimately the Padres lost that one 6-5 in San Francisco. But Pivetta, prior to that start, was really good. Against the Pirates, he went 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs. Braves, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. Mariners, 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. 3.16 ERA in the season for Nick Pivetta. I'm going to turn the blind eye to that Giant start in San Francisco and ultimately come to the conclusion that Nick Pivetta has been really good this season. He has not pitched against the Dodgers just yet this season, so here we go. Expect fireworks, expect big time hits, obviously, but this is the type of game where the stars come out, right? And obviously the Dodgers and Padres haven't played this season, so obviously Pivetta hasn't pitched against the Dodgers yet this year. But expect the stars to show up today. This is not on Fox Sports 1 because FS1 chose D-backs and Mariners. Why? Don't know. But expect the big time players to get hits in this game. I'm talking about Machado, I'm talking about Arraez, I'm talking about Tatis, I'm talking about Freeman, Betts, and Ohtani. So expect some runs tonight. I really think so, right? I think Pivetta is going to be better than May, but expect, again, both starting pitchers are going to get hit up a little bit. But then when we look, deeper into the game, I like the Padres bullpen over Los Angeles's. I just do. I mean, Tanner Scott still pitches a lot of meaningful innings for the Dodgers. He's good, but he hasn't been great this season. I like what San Diego offers a lot. I know Jason Adams has been shaky, and he's not going to pitch today, obviously, because he's pitched 2 days in a row. But you got Robert Suarez, obviously. You get some really good relievers of the bullpen. At times, they can be good. Obviously, Suarez. You get, oh my goodness, I'm blanking. Jeremiah Estrada. You know, there's guys. I like the Padres later in this game because I think both May and Pivetta are going to give up runs. I think ultimately, though, I think the Padres bullpen's a little bit better. I know they're at home, and this is a big-time game, and I fully expect the Padres to rise to the occasion. I think Nando's going to hit one out. Machado, we said it earlier in the video, right? Machado's been great this season. Yesterday, obviously, the only reason the Padres won over in Milwaukee was because of Machado's solo home run. So I like the Padres in the spot. Again, like the Marlins, we get them at plus money, plus 105 for San Diego. We are going to take them to win this baseball game. And now, real quickly before we end the video, the Washington Nationals. So the Nationals just let a team that is 9-21 on the road go into their own park and beat them 2 out of 3 games. The Rangers were playing atrocious baseball. They had that whole collapse in Tampa against the Rays where they gave up 2 runs, a walk-off 2-run single off of an infield out, which should have been. I'm sick of the Washington Nationals. I just am. I'm so sick of what they're doing right now. Again, the Rangers were 9-21 on the road this season before heading into this 3-game series with the Nationals. And to make it worse, we let Robert Garcia pitch the final 4 outs of this baseball game against the Nats. He gets James Wood, Nathaniel Lowe doubles, shout out to him. But nothing happened against Robert Garcia, who wasn't bad for us, but that's the guy obviously we traded for Nathaniel Lowe. And it just seems to me, guys, like we're kind of giving up, okay? We're 5 games under 500 now, but just listen to the lineup we put out yesterday. I get it, off day for CJ Abrams. I hope it was just an off day for Robert Hassel, or we were just playing the matchup, but still, listen to the lineup we put out yesterday. Alex Call, James Wood, Ahmed Rosario, Nathaniel Lowe, Josh Bell, Riley Adams, who bats 106, Luis Garcia, Jacob Young, Nasim Nunez. Now, I can have a whole discussion about our catching position because, yeah, Adams is much better defensively than Keibert Ruiz, who's atrocious defensively and just not very good as a whole. But, guys, Adams bats 105. I don't know what you want me to say. Nasim Nunez got sent down for Andres Chaparro. I'm excited for that. But what are we doing? We're directionless. We're 5 games under again. CJ Abrams can't hit the baseball. We said that yesterday. And now we go to New York to take on the Mets. Woohoo! I'm so excited. I'm pumped. Guys, the bad part about yesterday was Trevor Williams actually wasn't that bad. He wasn't good. He only pitched 4 2/3 innings for our guy that we extended in the offseason. But we pulled him in the 4th, and, you know, we tied the game 2-2. Alex Call it the solo home run, but ultimately the Rangers win 4-2. And it just feels like the national season is over in June again. How many years will we go without a winning record? Because honestly, guys, I'm getting to the point, I'm kind of just accepting there will be no winning record again in DC in 2025. How much longer do we have to wait? I don't know. And that's off day today. We'll see you tomorrow, I guess, for their Mets matchup. You know, Mackenzie Gore's pitching, but we'll get him 0-run support because that's just what we do. Anyways, folks, that'll do it for our MLB Best Bets here on June 9th. If you haven't yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.